When the coronavirus hit us on a massive scale, killing so many thousands and millions of people all over the world, what could governments do? They never dealt with anything like this before. The only thing they could do at that time was to impose lockdowns in an effort to curb the spread of the disease. They couldn't stop it, but they could stop the spread, or at least they could attempt to stop the spread. And it did, to a large degree, slow down the spread of the disease. They could never stop it, but it helped to slow down the spread of the disease all over the world. Except, perhaps with the exception of India. When the lockdown was imposed in India, thousands of migrants who had come to the big cities looking for jobs, earning wages on a daily basis, had nowhere to go. They had come to the cities for a specific purpose. They had come to work, to send the money back home, which they did, and that's why they don't have any more money. Send the money back home to the people they loved. And when the lockdown happened, they had no transport to go back home. And they had no work, they had no jobs. They had nowhere else to turn to. But the only place they could find love and safety and security, and that is back home. So they attempted to walk, to make the journey of hundreds of kilometers on foot. Very sadly, the journey to find security, to find love, ended for many of them, ended in death. They couldn't make the journey. And in a contrast, we read in the chapter that we're going to read today, which is the book of Mark, chapter 8, verses 1 to 10. Jesus has managed to attract 4,000 people to leave the comfort of their homes to go and listen to him. That's very contrasty from what we read in India. They were going back home to find love, whereas these people were leaving home to listen to Jesus and sacrificing, as you read, their meals, sacrificing their comfort. So let's read from the book of Mark. A great crowd had gathered, and they had nothing to eat. So Jesus called his disciples to him and said to them, I feel sorry for all these people. They have been with me for 3 days now and nothing to eat. If I send them off hungry, they will collapse on their way. Some have come a great distance. His disciples replied, where could anyone get bread to feed these people in a deserted place like this? He asked them, how many loaves have you? 7, they said. Then he instructed the crowd to sit down on the ground, and he took the 7 loaves, and after giving thanks, he broke them and handed them to his disciples to distribute. And they distributed them among the crowd. Then they had a few small fish as well, and over these he said a blessing and ordered them to be distributed also. They ate as much as they wanted, and they collected 7 basketfuls of scrap left over. Now there had been about 4,000 people. He sent them away immediately, getting into the boat with his disciples, and went to the region of Dalmanutha, the gospel of the Lord. Now, on the surface, it would seem odd that why would these people leave the comforts of their home, the security, and go to Jesus? Because it would be in contrast to what the people did in India. But if you look at it closely, it's not so contrasting. people need love, security, safety over their basic, what we have always thought about, over their needs of food. People will head towards love and suffer for love, to get this feeling of security, feeling of safety, and feeling of love. So that's why they headed to Jesus, because He gave them these things. He gave them the love, the comfort, the words that people needed to feel comfort, to feel loved, to feel that He cared for them. And people need them most. And if you can satisfy them as leaders, you don't have to feed them. That's all people need. They need love. They need to know that they're loved. They need to know that they are secure. And they need to feel comfortable. And they would sacrifice anything for that. What can we do to give our fellow man this feeling of love and comfort and security? What can we do? We cannot hurt them. We cannot do the opposite. We cannot take these things away from them. Let's aim not to take what people really need, the love, the security and the safety. That's what they really need, more than food. Think about it. My thought for today: